Let us know all the big conversations you want us to speak on because you tweet about it, you talk about it, you keep it high on the trends, and that's exactly what we follow and bring it right here on the show. Today is no exception. It's time to get into some very exciting conversations, and I must do it with my guests. And I'm really excited about the guests I'm having on the show today because they truly are the creme de la creme when it comes down to the issues. They are people that definitely share their thoughts, not only in various aspects, not only in person, but also online, and also are the kind of people that would put facts to the issues. Well, I'm excited to firstly introduce one of our newest esquires, our newest counsel, someone I'm hoping that if I'm ever caught in a bad spot, she'll be able to sort me out. She is Esquire Karen Effia-Nkwanta. Welcome, counsel. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Now, also a gentleman I'm really excited to finally meet. He's someone I follow keenly on social media. He's a political marketing strategist, someone who can tell us as it is, and also is a bit of a fact checker to some extent. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only Chris Atadika. Hi, Chris. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to have you here because you give us a bit of context on the, especially in this season where I'm sure your services are most needed when it comes to political marketing and the strategies to take towards it, because that's literally whatever takes over in the final months of the political campaign. But
month actually. We have
yes, literally 30 days more. Today, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be excited to see how the next few days pan out. But also joining us, and she's a comms and media professional and someone who will tell it on the issues as such. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Darko. Hi, Miss Darko. Thank you for joining us. You look lovely. Our ladies look lovely, honestly. And Chris, not to single you out, but you look nice. But welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
First off, we'll start it off with what was an interesting look in the Western region. So a few days ago, we were slightly shocked, I would say social media was, to see a lifelike statue of the president unveiled in the Western region. It was unveiled by the president himself on his one-day thank you tour in the Western region, and it was commissioned by the Western Regional Minister as a way of honoring the president's initiatives in the Western region, specifically on the rehabilitation of the Effia-Nkwanta Regional Hospital, the construction of a 3-tiered Sino-Hydro interchange, and the redevelopment of the Takoradi Market Square. However, some of these projects remain yet to be completed. Some are even halted. Now, also, building a statue in someone's face. Well, Sarkodie did sort of give us a first hint a few years ago when he spoke about building Acewood 1. But I didn't think anyone would actually take it literally. But clearly, some people did. One thing I must give it to, the artisans were pretty good. It was very lifelike. It actually does give a very convincing image of him. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I think I'll start with you, Chris. From the political marketing point of view, we're entering into election, a few days into the election. To see this, does it bode well for the chances of the ruling party?
Certainly not. People want to think that the issues that matter to them are the issues that the two main political parties would be talking about. 29 days to election. So to see the incumbent, the ruling government, mount statues of their leader, it's a bit insensitive to the grievances of Ghanaians, And not everybody in our culture, we frown on what we call self-promotion, sort of.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a challenge to see that in Takoradi, for example, you have deplorable roads, hospitals, in a bad shape. Things in terms of developmental projects or infrastructural projects not looking right. And then in the heart of, Sekondi, you have the president mounting or inaugurating a statue. Arguments have come on social media about the fact that the president didn't know about it, and it was the regional minister's idea or initiative to honor the president. But the point is, you cannot build something like this without, first of all, finding out from the president what image of himself
that he wants
would
to be
want
immortalized. Yes.
Yes. So definitely, why, someone will ask, why wasn't it an image of the president in, let's say, a kente? Or an image of the president in his favorite, African print T-shirt?
Okay.
But this is an image of the president in a shirt, suit and tie, which means that there was a deliberate attempt to, get this done, which probably had some approval from the presidency. So you can't tell me that the president didn't know about it and it was the regional minister's idea to immortalize the president or to honor the president by doing this. So it's very insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians, especially at this point in time where people are complaining about the basic issues, the economic issues. People cannot feed 3 times a day.
Yes.
Parents even have, now that parents have to take their wards to the university, to school, they are finding it difficult to pay hostel fees. They are finding it difficult to pay, academic fees. They are finding it difficult to buy all the items that their wards would need in school. And then you have the president, putting up a statue for us to, praise him. AJ, it's very insensitive.
Well, some may say that he's done so much amazing things. Well, at least according to the Western Regional Minister, they had initiated a lot of projects. Maybe not completed, but doesn't mean that we will not complete it. The mere fact that we've thought about the Western region enough to do certain things is good enough, they may argue. Your thoughts, Council?
The Secondary Takoradi area, it's an oil region where we get our oil, and if it was any developing country or any better country, for lack of a better word, that place should be like
Dubai.
And my dad's side comes from Takoradi. They actually live there, and that circle where the statue is, my church is there. And I went there last year. I was appalled. They don't deserve the kind of infrastructure they have. So to ignore all of that, in school, law school, we are taught that you can't sue a politician for his political promises. And so you've promised and you haven't done it. There really isn't much we can do. All we can do is re-elect or change governments if we are not okay with it, because, of course, they stifle protests. So. But if you're not going to do something for them, should you spit in their faces with this? Honestly, I think that nowadays, if you talk against the government or you try to criticize, it seems as if you are branded as an NDC person or another party. And I think it's not fair. We are young people. We are coming up. This is my first year as a lawyer. We have dreams and aspirations. One thing I'd like to say is that sometimes when people are in power, they tend to forget that it was the people that mandated them. And if you, as a lawyer, my constitution is my Bible, so you read the preamble and you see that there's this very in-depth phrase that says, we the people. It's the people that have the mandate. We are the ones that give you the power. Aside the fact that we give you the power, we also use our funds, our tax to fund your lifestyle. So the least you can do is be sensitive towards our plight. This image is tone deaf.
And I can agree to that. Now let me bring you in, Ms. Darko. You're in the communications field. You understand the media. Now the portrayal of or the perception created, especially in front of a project that is yet to be completed, but somehow the funds were found to do this. It's the irony for me. You found the means to be able to get this done, but the project itself that you're praising the person for hasn't found a way. You haven't found the means to be able to complete it. Looking from the outside in, what are your thoughts on it?
I really do not have much to say outside with, of course, Chris and then the other lady, I've forgotten her name.
Yeah.
But it came as no surprise to me, because we've had so many instances. I'm a communications person. I've listened to the president so many times. And I don't think this is the only time he's been quote-unquote insensitive. And so it came as no surprise to me that, of course, he wants people to know that he's done something. Or maybe the regional minister wanted people to know that he's done something. At least if not all of the things that he mentioned or he promised to do, he's done some things. And I don't know, for some people, they think that mounting a statue means that there's been a lot of work. Of course, a lot of work has gone into it. So it means that you're working. And I always say that when politicians are communicating, they are looking at the target audience. Who are the target audience? Maybe that particular place, like you said, if the people were people who could call or ask for accountability from the original minister and all of those the other people responsible, like people in authority in that area, I'm sure that they'll be able to get the things that they've always wanted, especially like Esquire mentioned that there's oil there. They drill the oil over there. So why is it that their lives are not even better as compared to the other parts of the country? So it means that there's some form of
preference
in terms, I don't want to say illiteracy, but maybe these people are not really looking at what you have done, but they are looking at the few things you've been able to take up the initiative to do. And the president, I do not think that he considered, or I will not blame the president because we do not know whether or not he did this for himself, but the people who came up with the idea to put up the statue, I am thinking that they did not consider the other people who, quote unquote, are not even in the political party or who are satisfied with the work that the people in authority they have done. So we are just doing something to honor our person, and that's just it. We do not care whether or not you like it. So it's quite unfortunate, but it came as no surprise to me.
Now let me throw this question to all three of you. Had it been done somewhere that you'd consider the president's stronghold, either somewhere in Ashanti, perhaps in Chebi, where they feel that there's been a lot of great improvement in their livelihood because president has been in power over the last 8 years, would that have been a better portrayal had it been done, say, in front of in Chebi, entering into Chebi? Chris?
That would have been worse.
Rather.
That would have been worse, AJ. Because, the point is, it will become worrying because the president has been criticized, especially in the last 5 years, for sending a lot of developmental projects to places he considers as electorally viable. We even had a president on record addressing the people, I don't remember, I think people in the Volta region
after,
and saying that, I know you people won't vote for me, but I came here when you had an issue.
After the floods, the Akosombo floods.
Exactly. You cannot have a president speaking like that. So insensitive. So it would even be worse for him to even mount up a statue like that in his hometown. I mean, some others will say that it's safer. Because
to do that,
your own people would celebrate you. Whether you are right or wrong, they will celebrate you regardless. So if they decide to mount a statue in honor of you, that's fine. But to have it as a project initiated by the regional ministry is problematic. So probably he should have done it probably in his house, where he lives, just behind TV3. If he did it here in his house, that's okay. Maybe his family house in Chebi, that's fine. But for it to be launched as something where the media is invited, everybody, dignitaries sitting there, come on, it's very insensitive. So no matter how you would try to spin it, where the statue is placed, the beauty of the statue, whether it should have been a statue of him wearing a kente as opposed to a statue wearing a suit and tie, whatever way, it is wrong.
Had it been a bust of maybe him and the leadership of the NPP over the years, would that have been in better taste?
Championed by who? You see, it's different if
should it have been done with him maybe out of power, maybe on January 7th, when he was handing over?
You know what I suspect?
What?
I suspect that the president feels that his party might not even honor him after he's gone. The country might not honor him. So during his time,
he is
honoring himself before he leaves.
Okay.
Because what will make you as a leader who believes that your people know that you have done something remarkable and they acknowledge you for that? What makes you think that when you leave office,
they wouldn't
do something like that for you? Okay. So for you to do it during your time, it tells a lot that you probably think your own party would not honor you, or the country would not honor you. That's the point. Because if he so even believes that Dr. Bawumia is going to win the election, that should have been the easiest, because this is your own, vice who is coming to be president. He would even build a big statue of you in the heart of Accra.
Okay.
You get the point. So it tells a lot.
Now, had it been launched maybe on 7th January 2025, when he was officially handing over power to whichever party that might be voted in the next 29 days, would that have been in better taste, Council?
Again, who is doing the unveiling? Is it the people or is it you yourself? It's like doing yourself a party and acting surprised. I mean, gone are the days where sometime past, when there's election year. In fact, this year I was very excited. I was like, oh, election year, they're going to surprise us. They're going to do votes for us so that we'll vote for them. But this year it hasn't been that. And then you mount this statue. 7th January, if the people of Ghana again decided of their own accord to honor you, that would be much better taste. The timing is off, considering everything that is going on. I don't know if there's a way to spin this.
Okay. Now, in spinning it, perhaps there's a communique that comes out and says the president knew nothing about it. It was acted out in someone else's own interest. He never agreed to it. Perhaps he just passed by it and he didn't even do a proper unveiling of it. Mr. Akon, how would you then perceive it? Is this spinnable?
I don't think it's spinnable, because at the end of the day, whether or not, obviously the regional minister was giving the appointments when the MPP came to power. So obviously people would tag him to that. You cannot dispute that fact. So if you tell me that he didn't know about it, it still doesn't do anything. At the end of the day, we believe that you guys were together. Like everybody in the party knew obviously something about it. So I don't know how you're going to spin it, but if he says he didn't know anything about it and he didn't do any proper commissioning of that statue, then they can break it, because it's quite insensitive. Yeah, because if that is the only way to satisfy everyone, especially in that constituency, I think the best thing to do is to say, we are sorry, we apologize, it was insensitive. Yes, and just pull it
down. If they decommission it, Chris, would it help in public perception of it?
So you remember some time back, there was this gentleman, it was reported in the media that he was mentally challenged, but he went to the airport roundabout.
Where the Big Six was.
Where the Big Six
and
was.
destroyed it.
And he started destroying it. I don't know whether he successfully did.
Well, to a large extent, yes.
To a large extent, he destroyed it. And my fear, looking at the comments coming,
that
the sentiments on social media, even especially from people who live in Takoradi, my fear is that people might jump onto the streets and in protest of this gesture, would want to pull down the statue. Because, we've said this, it's insensitive, there are issues, even the very roundabout where the statue is. The road, like you have valleys, and these are not potholes, gutters, valleys, mountains. So you are going, your car is destroying when using that road, So, and you have that shiny thing there. It's not even nice, because the environment is deplorable, and there's a shiny statue in the middle there, and so it makes sense that anybody will see such a thing and say that, why should this be there? So that's my fear. Probably the government or the presidency needs to assign some officers there to guard it forever and ever. Because when people get
allocation
upset,
of public funds to that.
When people get upset and people are frustrated with the system, they do things that they feel would hurt the system. So I gave reference to the gentleman who broke the big six statue at the airport runabout.
Yeah.
It may be that he wasn't actually mentally challenged as reported. He was angry with the system. He's frustrated with the system. And he feels that the only way to get back at the leaders is to just destroy something he knows that they very much love and cherish. So anybody who feels that they cannot get to President Akufo-Addo to vent out, their emotions to him,
we use this as an outlet.
We use that, So it's no matter how we try to spin it, it's still.
It doesn't
it's
go.
not right.
Well, let's get into a few tweets because you have certainly been talking quite a bit about it. Trending on the top of the list was Nebuchadnezzar at a point. A lot of people making some biblical inference into it. But getting into the conversation on Twitter and social media as a whole, my question is in two parts. Who paid for it? And is it the taxpayers? Then how much did it cost? Thank you. From Afro Samurai, sorry. Otafri just says, this was needless. The money injected into the construction of this nonsense should have been used to purchase more beds, pulsometers, even used to discharge needy patients who can't foot their bills. When will our managers and leaders learn sense? Another one from Mr. Gabby says, this statue needs to be guarded with security personnel. I don't see this statue making it into next year. Likely to come down before Akufo-Addo hands over power to Mahama. Okay, well, that's your view. Emmanuel says, so they were able to unveil this beautiful statue at this dirty, unkempt and uncompleted place? Only one Ghana says, for the Ghana we envision, we need leaders who honor their commitments and understand that history will remember not statues, but actions that truly benefits the people. Only one Ghana. Atakrake says, this is useless and an insult to the people of the Western region. What has he done to deserve this? Abuse of power and waste of taxpayers' money. The people of Western region must vote out Bawumia and his paymasters. Gaga, I think, the board of Effia-Nkwanta Hospital or whoever spent government money to this must be prosecuted for financial loss to the state. Tikuzi says, it would be admirable if the president had allowed posterity to rather recognize him and appreciate his work. If this decision truly came from him, it's distasteful. Why the rush? Well, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. When I come back, we'll be talking some more, especially about the U.S. election with our new president-elect. What does it mean for Ghana and our elections moving into December 7th? Stay with us. We'll continue right after this.